Okay, before we get started, I just want to say that the following video deals with some rather sensitive topics such as murder and homophobia. Please keep in mind that these are not my views and that I'm simply recounting historical facts uncovered by my research. Since his death in 1978, Harvey Milk has become a prominent symbol for the gay rights movement. His relatively short political career as the first openly gay man to win a politically elected position in the United States, that of San Francisco supervisor, set a new precedent for homosexuals and demonstrated to the entire world that gay people were not old sexual deviants preying on young children. I'm looking at you, Anita Bryant. As with most famous political figures, Harvey Milk's story has been put to film a few times, such as with the 1984 documentary The Life and Times of Harvey Milk, and the topic for today's video, the 2008 theatrical film, Milk. Despite receiving moderate praise from both critics and audiences, the film makes its fair share of historical blunders, the bulk of which will form the topic of today's video. So grab a seat, sit back, and relax while I go over the top 7 historical facts that Milk got wrong. Number 1. Harvey's will. The film begins with Harvey sitting at his kitchen table talking to a tape recorder, a scene which acts as a framing device for the rest of the film. This scene is intended to be a reference to Harvey's last will and testament, which he recorded on 3 cassette tapes in the event of his death by assassination, something which he believed was sure to happen from an early stage in his political career. Unlike in the film, however, Harvey did not record his will while seated at the kitchen table, but was instead at the law office of his attorney, Walter Kaplan. Number 2. Meeting Scott. In the film, Harvey first encounters his lover, Joseph Scott Smith, while walking up the stairs of the Christopher subway station in New York on the eve of his 40th birthday. While the location is correct, the date, Harvey's age, as well as his appearance in the film are all vastly different from reality. The film's portrayal of Harvey Milk, dressed in a suit and tie, with a job working for the Great American Insurance Company, had long since left the building by the time he met Scott Smith. When Scott first met Harvey, he was working as a gopher for Broadway director Tom O'Horrigan, and his appearance was much more akin to an extra from Jesus Christ Superstar, with long shaggy hair, a coal black mustache, and sad eyes. While it's true that Harvey had worked insurance jobs before his encounter with Scott, his time in the business world came to an abrupt end when he decided to skip out on work to go to a public protest regarding the American invasion of Cambodia. In addition to skipping work, Harvey then decided to get up and make a speech denouncing war profiteers before cutting up his Bank America card in front of the screaming crowd. Unsurprisingly, news of Harvey's speech eventually made it back to J. Barth & Company, the brokerage firm where he worked, and he was unceremoniously fired. Number 3. The Coors Beer Boycott. In the film, Harvey helps to organize a boycott against Coors Beer, but in reality, the boycott included not just Coors Beer, but also 5 other beer companies that all refused to hire union drivers. After Harvey's first attempt to run for office failed in 1973, he was contacted by a man named Al Baird, who asked for his assistance in getting the Castro gay community on board with the boycott. Harvey agreed on the condition that the group Baird was representing, the Joint Council of Teamsters, agreed to hire openly gay drivers. The reason that Coors Beer got so much abuse during the boycott is that while the other 5 companies quickly recanted their position on hiring union drivers, Coors stuck to its guns, refusing to hire union drivers for up to 4 years after the boycott began. The prolonged absence of Coors Beer proved to be no great loss for the San Francisco gay community, however, as during this time, the company was owned by an ultra-conservative family dynasty, who reportedly made prospective employees take a polygraph test to make sure that they weren't participating in an unrighteous lifestyle. So basically gay. The 4-year dry spell eventually paid off, however, as the drop in profits caused by the boycott forced the company to reconsider their position on hiring union drivers. Number 4. The Alice B. Tokes Memorial Democratic Club. In the 2008 film, Harvey Milk, played by Sean Penn, tries to elicit help for his campaign from one of the richest and most influential gay men in San Francisco, owner of the Advocate magazine, David Goodstein. While it's true that Goodstein was an influential person within the San Francisco gay community, the true power lied with Jim Foster, founder of the Alice B. Tokes Memorial Democratic Club, a gay and lesbian group that supported liberal politicians who opposed discrimination against homosexuals. Harvey asked for the group's help during his first run for supervisor in 1973, only to be rejected by Jim Foster, who believed that an openly gay candidate, such as Harvey, had little chance of winning the election. For the remainder of his political career, Harvey would often find himself at loggerheads with the club and its leadership, believing them to be cowards who fought for gay rights from behind the scenes rather than declaring their intentions openly. For example, in the fight against Proposition 6, a law proposed by California State Senator John Briggs that made it illegal for homosexuals, or the people who supported them, to be employed by California schools, David Goodstein and Jim Foster created an organization called the Concerned Voters of California. Despite the pair's good intentions, however, Harvey Milk and many other gay voters took offense to the organization's backhanded approach to the fight against Proposition 6, as they chose to focus more on the law's effects on human rights rather than the negative impact it would have on the gay community. Harvey even went so far as to refer to one of their organization's pamphlets as masturbation, a sentiment that is echoed by his character in the film. Number 5. Harvey's campaign staff. While the bulk of Harvey's dedicated campaign staff are depicted in the film, a few key characters have had their stories altered, while the others have been omitted entirely. Perhaps the best example of this can be seen in the character of Cleve Jones. While the film depicts him as a male prostitute, Cleve Jones was a political science student who worked as an intern for Harvey, promoting his message on college campuses. While it's not completely clear why the filmmakers decided to make this change, or how the real Cleve Jones felt regarding his movie counterpart, to their credit, the filmmakers did manage to include the fact that he was from Phoenix. Okay, granted it's not much, but at least it's something. One member of Harvey's campaign team that is omitted from the film entirely is Harvey's speechwriter, Frank Robinson. Despite his prowess as a public speaker, Harvey often had trouble putting his words to paper. Or as Harvey's political strategist, Jim Revolta, liked to say, he was a rather unintelligible writer. So Harvey needs someone who could take his good ideas and transform them into good prose. The only problem being that he didn't really have the funds necessary to actually hire someone. But Harvey's connections in the San Francisco gay community ran deep, and he eventually stumbled upon Frank Robinson, an experienced writer with a degree in journalism from Northwestern University. While Robinson believed Harvey had little hope of winning the election, he found him to be a kindred spirit, who agreed with him on many topics, including increased unionization, a distaste for big business, and better rights for seniors and minorities, so he eventually agreed. Number 6. Harvey's Victory Party. In the film, Rick Stokes and David Goodstein, Harvey's rivals for the supervisor seat in District 5, are barred from attending Harvey's lavish celebration party. In reality, however, David Goodstein, owner of The Advocate magazine, threw not one but 3 separate parties in celebration of Harvey's election to the Board of Supervisors in 1977, and Harvey, forever the showman, was compelled to make an appearance at each one. Number 7. Carol Roos Silver. Though she warrants only a brief mention in the film, Carol Roos Silver was a close friend of Harvey Milk, a fellow supervisor, and, on a much less cheerful note, Dan White's intended third victim. After turning himself in for the murder of Harvey Milk and Mayor George Moscone, Dan White later confessed that he had also intended to kill Carol Roos Silver, his reason being that she, along with Harvey Milk, had often taunted him and passed notes behind his back during supervisor meetings. Silver was saved by happenstance, however, as she stopped to have coffee with a friend on the day of the shooting, and as a result was late to arrive at City Hall. On a much happier note, Silver not only survived her brush with death, but is still around to talk about today. According to her bio on IMDb, in addition to her accomplishments as a San Francisco supervisor and lawyer, Silver also founded San Francisco's first Mandarin Chinese immersion school in 1982, and since 2002 has spent much of her time in Afghanistan, where she's worked to support and promote the importance of children's education in the country, especially for young girls. In 2014, she published a book called Freedom Rider Diaries, Smuggled Notes from Parchment in Prison, which recounts her experiences as a freedom rider, which were a group of people who protested Jim Crow laws, especially those relating to segregation on public transportation. For anyone wanting to find out more about this incredible woman, this book is available for purchase on Amazon. Well, did you like this list? If so, be sure to tell me in the comment section down below. And while you're there, feel free to leave me any ideas you may have for future videos. I certainly appreciate the help. But until next time, this has been Silver Jade, and please remember to support your local library.